Hey, listeners. This is Josh Stearns, aka Snerts, bringing you the pilot episode of the Who Would Win Show After Show. This is a one-person passion parody project. Please listen to the Who Would Win Show every Wednesday on your podcast platform of choice. Now let's tune in to the one and only Chuck Daly. Hello, everybody! This is Chuck Daly, host of the Who Would Win Show After Show. Wow, what a mouthful! On today's episode, we will be reviewing the Season 3 finale of the legendary podcast, Who Would Win? For the third year in a row, James Gassey will be representing Santa Claus. Ray Staganis, after two previous losses to Kris Kringle, went big, literally. He chose Galactus, the planet-eating supervillain from Marvel Comics. This week's judge was the legendary Ellie Newlands, actor extraordinaire. After much deliberation, she deemed James and Santa Claus worthy of victory. This win makes the dynamic duel 3-0 a remarkable accomplishment. Much to the chagrin of the awkward allies, aka Rainiacs, aka Ray's favorites, this season goes to the infamous master of infinite mass punches, the distributor of the intoxicating mind fog, James Gassey! Congratulations! To discuss this further, I'd like to bring in Larry Kowalski and Brad Bosky for the Ski Report. Welcome, gentlemen. Well, hello there, Chuck. Greetings, Chuck, and salutations. How about that season finale? Both hosts gave it their all, and Judge Ellie declared Santa the winner. Brad, what are your takes on this epic match? Oh, Chuck, the taste of victory is sweet indeed. James had a solid start, pointing out the vast abilities of Saint Nick. The fact that he can perform the infinite mass punch and is an Omega-level mutant like the beloved Iceman is just fantastic. Don't get me wrong, Galactus is no pushover, but he couldn't measure up to the jolly fellow from the North Pole. It's hard to argue with the end results. Larry, as a Rainiac, I'm sure you have a different opinion of the latest brawl. First Kylo Ren, then Ghost Rider, now Galactus. For some reason, all three of these powerhouses have fallen to this glorified delivery driver. This is nonsense. Galactus devours planets and is older than the Big Bang, a force of nature beyond our understanding, but for some reason, he doesn't take the win. Bah, humbug. May I remind my esteemed comrade Larry that Galactus has lost to the likes of Squirrel Girl and Reed Richards utilizing only reason. James was spot on. Santa Claus would charm Galactus and convince him to leave the battlefield. James knew it, and more importantly, so did Judge Ellie. That's a good point, Brad. Larry, do you have a counter? Yes, the ultimate nullifier. Ah, of course. Please continue. Thank you, Chuck. I will. This weapon completely eliminates its target from existence. Galactus possesses this device. Santa is no more. It's that simple, Chuck. Furthermore, his magical charisma would not have affected the mighty Galactus. The intoxicating mind fog strikes again, leading to yet another Ray was robbed scenario. That's just not true, Chuck. James denoted the vulnerabilities of Galactus. Reality warpers are his kryptonite. He's an easy mark for the likes of Santa Claus. Plus, his inventory system is, worse. The guy loses everything and would most likely have misplaced the ultimate nullifier. Brad conveniently leaves out the victories. Galactus has fought the Phoenix to a standstill even in a weakened state. The Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and even black holes are no match for this planet-devouring giant. Also, disregarding the historical Bard's tale, the night Santa went crazy is a travesty. Now that's something we can all agree with. Weird Al's academic credentials are undeniable. Let's move on to the next match. Dr. Octopus has been announced. Larry, who would you like to see fight against this legendary villain? First, Chuck, I'd like to point out that on a previous recording, I mentioned Doc Ock. Now he is a combatant. Is that causation or just correlation? I'll let our fans decide. I've struggled to find a worthy opponent, to be honest, but so far I'm a fan of Inspector Gadget, who was recommended on Twitter. Thanks, Larry. Brad, what are your thoughts on this upcoming match? Oh, well, Chuck, like my friend Larry, I am stumped. My first thought was Omega Red, but he's also in the Marvel Universe. That's a big no-no on the Who Would Win show. This is why their production team deserves so much credit. It's not easy coming up with these great nerd battles each week. Couldn't agree more, and that's a great place to leave it for this version of the Ski Report. Larry, Brad, thank you both. Now let's check in with our fantastic Who Would Win community on Twitter. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Audience, on Twitter. I apologize in advance for any names I mispronounce. Guana Histono at Llama Lavender says, this episode was quite festive. I share more thoughts of the new episode on Ray is Right. I also narrate my own Who Would Win fanfic, Ray and James Meet Santa Claus, where alternate universe Ray finally confronts Santa for about not getting him a USS flag for Christmas. Couldn't agree more, Guana. I also encourage all our listeners to check out our podcast, Ray is Right. Matthew Dawson at Hoppa24 says, I have no idea how you guys are going to top this next year. Galactus maxed out every stat I had. I literally can't think of any more powerful characters that could defeat Santa Claus. Too true, Matthew. Thanks for all the swell Who Would Win trailers. Movie fans should give a listen to his podcast, Dial Up Movie Club. On to Delvin Cox at Delvin_Cox. Thank you, James, for saving Christmas from Galactus. And more importantly, Ray, a.k.a. the Grinch. Wise words from our host of the Delvin Cox Experience. Bookie Catalan at Bookie Catalan says, well, Galactus is a cool character, but can he make children smile? No! And I think Santa's powers are extra strong during Christmas time, so Galactus has no chance against him. Anyway, I love the prologue for this episode, too. You all are wonderful. Who could argue with that? Great point, Catalan. And that's all from our community segment. Farewell from the Legion of Audience on Twitter. It's time to wrap up the episode of the Who Would Win Show After Show. Many thanks to Larry and Brad for their insights on the Ski Report. We also appreciate the Legion of Audience, enthusiasm on Twitter and beyond. My sympathies to Ray for losing this current season by a nose. I'm sure he'll come back next year better than ever. Congratulations to James for this fantastic Season 3 victory and his flawless record repping Santa Claus. Folks can catch the Who Would Win Show every Wednesday on their podcast platform of choice. This is Chuck Daly signing off. So long, everybody! Well, and that's a wrap for the pilot episode of the Who Would Win Show After Show, powered by Snerts. Thank you all for listening. Stay strong, stay safe, and stay frosty.